Welcome to Sunday with a Sinner with me, Royal Demon, and today I kind of wanted to talk about fear. Like, maybe not the most popular topic to talk about, but I have to admit that it was something that I've been thinking about for some time, and it might not be the most appropriate thing to talk about, and not maybe something you would expect on this channel, or maybe in general when you play a game, but here I'm playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and this is the Jack the Ripper DLC, so talk about fear. And I thought it was a bit appropriate to play with this subject, and you have to play as Evie. I mean, you know, in the main game you can play as Jacob or Evie, but in the DLC you play just as Evie. Even though I also played as Jack the Ripper for a short time, so maybe you can play more of that. I don't know. I've only been playing it recently. Anyway, that's a little bit what you see in here while I'm talking about, you know, fear and all that. So let me start with the beginning. Like, you know, fear. I think we are all afraid of something. People that say they're not afraid of anything either lie or are idiots. Because fear is not bad. It's not a bad thing to be afraid of something. I'd say it's even good, because fear means you know your limits. You know what you can take or what you can't take. And something you're afraid of means that is a limit for you. And that's good, because, you know, if you, like, some people call themselves fearless, then you clearly don't know your limits, and that might lead to some, well, unfortunate situations where you put yourself in harm's way, and for what? So, personally, I think fear, it's not a bad thing to be afraid. Now, I know some people are very afraid, very afraid. They're afraid of a lot of things, and, well, that's also kind of problematic. I mean, that could really make it difficult. And sometimes people are afraid of, like, the weirdest things. Like, I think I heard some guy was afraid of wet grass. I don't know if that actually has a name. You know, there are a lot of phobias, you know, they call it. Like, arachnophobia is a pretty well-known one, when you're afraid of spiders. Which makes sense to me if it's like a big fucking spider. I mean, I come from a country where there are no big spiders. I mean, the biggest spiders still fit in your hand. Yeah, in your hand. And if you see, in some countries there are spiders that are, like, huge. I mean, I can understand why some people would be afraid of that. Oh, I think there was some enemy there. So let's see if I can use some skills here. Okay, let's see. So fear is really something, you know, it's like in every culture, in every country. It's like there is no place where you'd be like, well, there's no fear here. Well, there is. Okay, let's see. Let's stake them. This is a new thing you can do. See, look at this. And now you stake them to the fucking floor. See, there's a stake through an arm. See, and then when they're afraid, and there's also like a fear bomb. Now, easy. That's a fear bomb. See, that makes them terrified. See, it works on cops and the others. Look at it, now they're running away. Why are you running away, douchebags? You're supposed to say... See, if you play as Jack the Ripper, you actually kill them with that. Then you don't stake them in the arm, you stake them in the chest. And it will brutally murder them. Really? So let's stake him as well. Okay, teach me that lesson then. Please, teach me the lesson. I'm not getting it. So, but this is just me a little bit fooling around in this game. I mean, it can't be all too super serious, you know. It has to be a little bit interesting. Now, there's also another thing you can do. That's like a brutal murder, see? So let me show you this. Oh boy, he just got fucking ripped apart. See, as Jack the Ripper, it's over the top. Oh my god, they're going fucking crazy here. apparently the horses are afraid as well. Even though it's not that difficult to spook a horse. I mean, you just have to sneak up behind a horse and then, tap him on the backside. Even though I would not recommend that because a horse can kick backwards and that could be even fatal. So, if you want to be a prankster, then do so at your own risk. Anyway, that was a little distraction there. Getting back to fear. Well, I think we all fear stuff, as I already mentioned. But for me personally, I was, well, not a very smart kid. I mean, I watched like horror movies when I was like 5. Now, let me tell you something. That's dumb. Maybe you're like badass kid. I don't know. I wasn't a badass kid because it fucking gave me nightmares as a kid because I was dumb enough to watch those horror movies. I mean, well, let's see. Can I think of a horror movie I watched? Oh, there's It, which is now by far not as scary, of course. But then when I was like a little kid, it was like, oh my god, this is like the worst. And what was another movie I fucking The Thing. Oh, I remember that scene as a kid. That was fucking terrifying. How those people fucking turned into monsters. That was like, oh my god, that is stuff of nightmares. Shit. I mean, now I'm okay with that, of course. I mean, I'm an adult now, so it doesn't have that same type of effect. But as a kid, oh my god, yeah, that fucking meant fucking nightmares, that type of stuff. So, once again, know your limits with that type of stuff. But, fear is of all times, it's not just restricted to, like, oh, yeah, it's just as a kid. No, I mean, as an adult, of course, you also have things to be afraid of. And something that is pretty actual, or, quite common these days is people that are afraid for example, like terrorist attacks. I mean, there are terrorists in the world. I mean, that's nothing new. But, in the last, well, let's say decade, well, more than a decade. I mean, when you think about 2001 with the attacks on the Twin Towers, I mean, that was like a moment in time that the world technically, yeah, well, it changed. I mean, suddenly there was like a lot of fear for, attacks. They could be attacked. People, innocent people were killed. And for what? For something stupid. And, yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand that people are afraid of that. And I think that is a very, a very normal thing to feel, to be afraid of something like that. Now, of course, it's easy to say, like, I'm not afraid, I don't care about that, but then again, and you look at last year, in 2015, with the attacks in Paris, I mean, twice, first in January of 2015, and then in November again. It really makes you wonder, like, yeah, there is a lot of danger in the world. There are a lot of idiots in the world that do dumb things and hurt other people for, well, some stupid reason. I mean, I'm not even going to go too much into details, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of things going on in the world, and it's scary to think of that. And what, as a gamer, does that have to do with me, you might think, like, I play games, and why should I care about that? Well, I had it really helped me when I was playing some certain games, like survival horror games. At first I was like, I would never like that. I mean, I think the first time I played a survival horror game, I think I was 16. And I was really like, I don't know if this is really my type of game. Because, I remember my childhood and it wasn't all fun and games. Like, I had some serious nightmares because of stuff I watched. So I was like, do I really want to play a game that's trying to scare me? But I was like, let's try it. And actually, I started to like it. And it built up a tolerance for me against, things I thought were scary. Like, for example, when I played a game like Silent Hill, it really helped me deal with certain things, like things I didn't really like or something. It also increased to me fucking disliking certain things. Like, I never looked the same at hospitals anymore, thanks to Silent Hill, because of those situations you were in certain parts of the game where you had to go to a hospital. So, I'm not saying it's all good. I mean, it can also have some nasty side effects, but it's not that I'm afraid to go to a hospital, no. But I never look the same at hospitals anymore. I can tell you that much, thanks to Silent Hill. But, there are more games like Resident Evil. I'm really talking about the early Resident Evil games, not the later ones. That's more action. It's not really scary. And yeah, so for me, it's like fear. You can learn to deal with it a bit. I'm not saying like, oh my god, yeah, it's like so easy and all that. No, I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm just saying fear, yeah, it's of all times. Sometimes it's more, and sometimes it seems to really dominate in the world. You know, it's like everywhere. Like people are scared, and maybe some people try to hide that with jokes or by acting tough and all that. But you know, it's there, and you know, you can try to hide for it, or you can try to deal with it. And for me, I think a good way to deal with it is playing games. And it doesn't really necessarily have to be like survival horror games. Like, oh my god, I have to play like a survival horror game, and what the hell are you doing here? Like I said, it doesn't have to be a survival horror game, but it could also be like another game, like this game, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, or maybe you play like Mario. I mean, I'm not saying, yeah, sure, that makes you more, you know, you can deal better with your fear. But sometimes it's also good to have a distraction. If you constantly are focused or busy with the fear, the things that make you afraid or make you feel uncomfortable and all that type of shit, then I'm like, yeah, that's gonna suck then, you know, that's gonna be unpleasant for you. And if you find ways to technically, you know, distract yourself, or you know, to do things that do make you happy, or make you at least less afraid, then yeah, I think that helps. And I think a good way to do that is to play games, to do things that make you happy, or that you think or that are fun to do. I mean, that helps. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Maybe you're different, maybe you see it different. That's fine. I mean, it's a free world. I mean, we all have our own opinions and our own way to look at things. So, but anyway, that's about as much as I wanted to talk about it. Maybe you have your own opinions about it. Feel free to let me know, or not. I mean, once again, it's a free world. You can almost say whatever you want. I'm not saying you can say whatever you want, but anyway, I thank you for watching, and hopefully you're having a good day and a lot of fun with playing games. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye bye.